"There's a new king of the court in town." Applause. Yeah, he said it loud and clear. "This is my league now." He went on, "MJ, you had your reign. Larry Bird, you had your shot. Now it's my stage." And in that moment, millions of fans and observers across the globe, consciously or not, bowed silently to the audacity of the claim. This wasn't just bravado. It was a declaration that rippled through the basketball world with seismic intensity. LeBron James and Kevin Durant, two of the biggest stars of this generation, thought they were just playing around, tossing a casual jab at Michael Jordan during a podcast recording. But that seemingly offhand remark detonated into a firestorm of controversy that no one anticipated. And then, when Magic Johnson, the Showtime Lakers legend, caught wind of it, he didn't remain silent. Magic's response would not only defend Jordan's legacy, but also reshape the ongoing conversation about greatness in the NBA. Some moments in sports history don't happen on hardwood floors. They don't feature buzzer beaters, alley-oops, or the confetti showers after championship victories. No, some of the most intense, impactful moments unfold quietly in the background. In podcasts, candid interviews, and seemingly casual conversations where raw truth escapes and egos reveal themselves. On July 9, 2025, one such moment materialized. A moment so deceptively harmless, yet so potent, that it rattled the entire basketball universe and reignited a debate that had simmered for decades. Kevin Durant sat in a studio alongside LeBron James and Steve Nash for an episode of Mind the Game, LeBron's podcast, where elite athletes dissect the mental and physical grind required to perform at the highest level. The conversation flowed naturally, as it always does among players who've pursued greatness their entire lives. They discussed the universal question every professional athlete faces after years of grinding: recommitment. That brutal internal check that asks, "Do I even want this anymore?" And then Durant said it. He casually dropped a line that would ignite an entire basketball culture. "Yeah, 10, 12 seasons in for MVPs, for rings. Do I still want this? You feel me?" You know how it goes. Some folks say, "I want to try baseball and maybe come back." Others pushed 22 straight seasons. A seemingly philosophical reflection. Yet, anyone with even passing knowledge of basketball history knew exactly what had just been referenced. Some folks say, "I want to try baseball." Only one man in professional basketball history had ever left the game to pursue baseball: Michael Jeffrey Jordan, widely regarded as the greatest to ever lace up sneakers. Jordan didn't merely step away from the game. He attempted to dominate another sport entirely, swapping his iconic jersey for a bat and a minor league uniform. But that moment wasn't just about an obvious historical reference. It was a subtle jab, disguised as musings on longevity and commitment. And that's where the problem began. What got lost in Durant's casual phrasing was a critical truth about Jordan. His career, while occasionally interrupted, was nothing short of legendary. Yes, Jordan retired 3 times. Yes, he briefly pursued baseball. But each time he returned, he reclaimed his throne in emphatic fashion. He led the Bulls to a 72-win season in 1995-96, a record that stood unmatched for decades. He collected 3 more Finals MVPs and finished his NBA Finals career with an unblemished 6-0 record, perfect in the games that mattered most. This was dominance, pure and unrelenting, the kind of greatness that didn't require longevity to be meaningful. It demanded reverence. So, of course, people had to respond. Voices rose across podcasts, social media, and YouTube, debating whether Durant's offhand remark trivialized Jordan's achievements. The discussion wasn't just about stats or championships. It was about respect. Some framed Jordan's baseball detour as evidence of lesser devotion than LeBron's 22-year Ironman streak. But that assessment fundamentally misunderstood what made Jordan great. Jordan's legacy wasn't built on years endured, but on moments conquered. Moments when stakes soared and he refused to blink. As the podcast clip ricocheted across the internet, Durant attempted to clarify his intentions on X, formerly Twitter. He acknowledged Jordan's 3 retirements and reaffirmed his respect for the GOAT, drawing a parallel to LeBron's decades of elite play. He flexed his fandom, even boasting about $1 million collection of MJ sneakers. Yet by then, the damage had already been done. The clip had already gone viral. Clarifications cannot erase a laugh that millions dissected in real time. This wasn't some click-chasing podcaster's gaffe. This was LeBron James, a player whose career has long been measured against Jordan's, and Kevin Durant, whose legacy has faced whispers of ring-chasing throughout his career. Two generational elite athletes. Yet there they were, casually undermining the throne of the man everyone else had silently acknowledged as untouchable. Of course, Jordan responded, but with characteristic sarcasm rather than outrage. And if you ask me to compare Durant and LeBron, it's complicated. One is the life of the party, social media's delight and mischief incarnate. The other has his share of controversies, Twitter burner accounts, and behind-the-scenes moves that spark suspicion. Yet the stakes were set for a confrontation far larger than a mere podcast jab. When you aim for the king, you better not whiff. Over the following days, the basketball world witnessed something rare. Legends defending their era and values against a new generation. And in doing so, defending the very essence of the game as they knew it. Magic Johnson stepped into this debate with unparalleled authority, reminding everyone why some names are sacrosanct. Kevin Durant's comment did not just trigger backlash. It reignited a generational war. The basketball world, already divided by the Jordan versus LeBron debate, fractured even further. Former players who typically stayed diplomatic suddenly felt compelled to speak. Among the loudest voices was Kwame Brown, a former #1 overall pick, whose own career had never fully ignited. In a YouTube video that quickly racked up over 500,000 views, Brown tore into Durant and LeBron with a raw fury only someone who lived through the era could muster. Kevin Durant. That statement was ignorant. Jordan won 3 straight titles. His dad was murdered that summer. MJ retired in October to pursue baseball, his father's dream. You smart idiots. Brown didn't stop there. He called out what he saw as hypocrisy, mocking Durant and LeBron's career choices, marked by player movement and super team assemblies, contrasting them with Jordan's era, where dominance was earned on the court, not purchased through alliances. Brown's indictment was brutal. Durant and LeBron hopped from super team to super team, trying to catch up with Jordan's 6 rings. Yet the old guard knew it would never happen on those terms. Gilbert Arenas added fuel to the fire. The former Wizard sharpshooter reminded everyone that Jordan's NBA departure wasn't a whim. He had been forced out amidst gambling investigations and the personal tragedy of his father's death. Context mattered. Jordan didn't quit because he was tired. He quit because the weight of fame, expectation, and personal loss was crushing. Charles Barkley, Jordan's Olympic teammate, brought his signature blend of comedy and brutal honesty. Barkley blasted the super team era represented by Durant and LeBron, emphasizing that Jordan never took shortcuts. He was beaten, he improved, he destroyed. Durant's 2016 decision to join the Golden State Warriors, a team that had just completed a 73-win season, was a sharp contrast in Barkley's eyes. While Durant secured 2 championships and 2 finals MVPs in Golden State, whispers of legitimacy followed him, a mark of comparison to the uncompromising standard Jordan set. Barkley's point was razor-sharp. Jordan never jumped ship. When the Bulls repeatedly fell to the Detroit Pistons, he didn't quit. He sharpened his skills, hardened his resolve, and eventually annihilated his rivals. That was the gold standard. LeBron and Durant? Brilliant, yes, but the gold standard is a different measure, one defined by dominance, resilience, and unflinching will. Steve Kerr, current head coach of the Golden State Warriors and 3-time champion under Jordan, offered a subtler but no less devastating perspective. Though his remarks predated the recent controversy, they landed perfectly in the ongoing debate. Comparing LeBron to MJ, Kerr noted, is like comparing greatness to the greatest. He acknowledged LeBron's immense talent and Kobe Bryant's killer mindset. But greatness alone does not equal Jordan-level domination. There's a different element, cold-blooded instinct, a drive to annihilate anyone in your path, that separates the elite from the untouchable. Social media amplified every comment, clip, and reaction. A Yarder poll of over 10,000 participants showed 62% siding with Jordan fans, agreeing Durant had disrespected MJ. The numbers reflected more than fandom. They reflected the sanctity of legacy and respect. This wasn't about blind loyalty or LeBron hate. It was about crossing lines that shouldn't be crossed. Meanwhile, YouTube exploded. Videos with titles like Michael Jordan Live Blast LeBron and KD and MJ and Barkley Destroy LeBron and KD amassed hundreds of thousands of views. despite Jordan himself remaining silent. AI-generated voices and recycled clips even began simulating confrontations, reflecting the cultural obsession with this intergenerational clash. Amid the chaos, one legend prepared to speak with authority. Not through social media, not through hot takes, but through lived experience. Magic Johnson, who had watched these events unfold, had words to deliver that could only come from someone who had competed at the highest level against Jordan. This wasn't about statistics or rings. It was about respect, about witnessing brilliance that redefined what human limits could be on a basketball court. Magic's perspective mattered because he wasn't just a peer, he was a rival. He had faced Jordan in critical moments, most famously the 1991 NBA Finals. Magic's final dance, Jordan's first championship, Bulls victorious 4-1. Decades later, Magic was stepping into this debate to defend MJ from a generation unfamiliar with what it truly meant to compete against the GOAT. There's a different energy when a legend defends another legend. It's a weight no stat sheet or highlight reel could ever convey. When someone who has stared across the court at Jordan at the peak of his powers declares, "This is the greatest player I've ever seen," it resonates differently. These are scars earned in competition, experience carved by the relentless pursuit of excellence, a recognition of something beyond human. Magic Johnson spoke on the Earn Your Leisure podcast at InvestFest 2025 in Atlanta. Perfect timing amid the fallout from the KD LeBron podcast. When asked the ultimate question haunting basketball discourse for decades, MJ or LeBron, Magic didn't waver. No equivocation. No diplomatic hedging. Michael Jordan first, LeBron second, Kareem third. But the power of Magic's answer wasn't only in the choice. It was in the reasoning. Magic didn't simply say, "MJ is the GOAT," end of story. He painted a vivid picture, transporting listeners to moments when Jordan's genius was undeniable. He recounted a specific game from the 1991 Finals, a play repeated endlessly in memory, impossible to forget. Jordan drove to the right, trapped, switched midair to his left, tongue out, banking a shot while defenders were paralyzed. Magic had witnessed it firsthand, knowing that one moment encapsulated the essence of what made Jordan untouchable. That play wasn't just athletic brilliance. It was a declaration of dominance, a testament to Jordan's ability to rise above the constraints of physics, strategy, and human expectation. Magic emphasized that the context, the stakes, the competitors, the sheer audacity of the moment was what made Jordan's brilliance timeless. Magic's defense of Jordan wasn't about tearing LeBron down, at least not entirely. He consistently acknowledged LeBron's greatness. LeBron is a bad boy of basketball in his own right, a transcendent talent with unmatched skill and impact. But greatness does not equate to the greatest. For Magic, that title belonged to Jordan, and he articulated why this distinction mattered. Factors like dominance, clutch performance, cultural impact, and an undefeated finals record positioned Jordan in a separate tier. LeBron's accomplishments are monumental, but Magic made it clear they occupy a different stratosphere. Magic's All the Smoke interview with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson further revealed his hierarchy of greatness. Discussing the 1992 Dream Team and his time alongside Jordan, Magic recounted why the tongue-out moment signaled impending brilliance. Jordan could hit consecutive shots, steal the ball, maneuver past legendary defenders like David Robinson, and finish midair with a spin, a 360-degree masterclass in control and instinct. That play alone, Magic insisted, was enough to justify reverence from peers, opponents, and fans alike. Following Dream Team practices, Magic said they all metaphorically bowed. This wasn't born of jealousy or bitterness. It was acknowledgement of something otherworldly. Michael Jordan demanded respect not through ego or publicity stunts, but through tangible, visible mastery of his craft. Magic Johnson, 5-time NBA champion, 3-time MVP, architect of the Showtime Lakers, confirmed what generations of fans had long suspected. Jordan's greatness transcended numbers and accolades. This is why the KD LeBron podcast clip shocked the old guard. In the minds of Magic, Bird, Barkley, and other contemporaries, joking about Jordan's personal hardships or casually undermining his legacy was sacrilegious. Respect was earned on the court through dominance, resilience, and a refusal to yield, and Jordan had mastered all three. Magic's comments went viral instantly. Clips of his remarks on Earn Your Leisure flooded YouTube and social media. accumulating millions of views. The basketball world took notice. Lakers Nation, Bleacher Report, ESPN, all reported on it, emphasizing that Magic's words carried unparalleled weight. He was not only a Jordan rival, but it also shared the court and locker room with LeBron in an executive capacity, bridging generations and lending credibility to his evaluation. The implications of Magic's defense went far beyond GOAT rankings. He wasn't merely endorsing Jordan. He was defending an entire basketball philosophy. He drew stark contrasts between his generation and today's super team-dominated NBA, advocating competition against the best rather than forming alliances to secure victories. Magic's point was clear. In his era, glory was earned, not manufactured. "I wasn't a guy like that," Magic explained. "I never wanted to play with anyone but my dudes. Wherever I ended up, that's who I rolled with." His statement wasn't nostalgic. It was a critique of modern practices. Magic celebrated a competitive fire, one that thrived on adversity and personal mastery, exemplified by Jordan throughout his career. Magic's defense of Jordan against Durant and LeBron's perceived slight was, ultimately, a defense of basketball values. Weeks passed, controversy simmered, and one truth crystallized. This wasn't about a single joke or an offhand laugh. It was about the memory of greatness, about whether living legends deserved shielding from casual dismissal by the stars of the present day. Magic Johnson made his position unmistakably clear. Jordan's legacy, even decades after his last championship, towers over the sport. The GOAT debate remains unsolvable. That's the nature of greatness. But when someone who competed against Jordan at his peak asserts that no one will replicate him, it carries the weight of lived experience, of scars earned on the grandest stages, of brilliance witnessed firsthand. LeBron James and Kevin Durant are all-time greats. Their legacies are untouchable. But the next time someone makes light of Jordan's baseball stint, they should consider the audience. Legends who faced him haven't forgotten. They never will. This is more than a discussion about rings, points, or highlight reels. It's a testament to how greatness is perceived, honored, and defended across generations. Magic Johnson, through words born of experience and respect, reminded the world why Michael Jordan's name remains untouchable, and why casual jabs from even today's greatest players can provoke the fiercest of responses from those who truly know what it means to face the GOAT. Legends earn their place through dominance, adversity, and the relentless pursuit of perfection. And Michael Jordan, as Magic Johnson so eloquently made clear, remains the ultimate example of all three.